Deryck, welcome to Radioactiva, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thanks. I gotta say it, quite surprised when I first heard some time ago that Sum 41 had decided to call it quits. Let's say it
Yep.
in a way or another, because well, we kind of saw you guys grow,
hmm
right?
Yeah, I mean, we
So
were kids when we started. Yeah, we were still like just teenagers when we first got signed and the world heard us for the first time.
exactly, and I was born in 1981, so I got, of
Okay.
course, into punk thanks to Green Day and then Blink, and then you guys. So it was like, God, I remember watching you on MTV,
Yeah.
the Fat Lip video and all that, performing with Rob Halford, doing Lil No
Tommy
Low
Lee.
with Iggy Pop,
Yeah.
Tommy Lee,
Iggy Pop.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we have a lot of things to talk about, man.
yeah.
But of course, first let's focus on the record. Tell me a bit about
Sure.
your mindset when you get in the studio. Understanding that this would be the last Sum 41 record.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we didn't know it was going to be the last record until it was finished, and we didn't even know we were making a record while we were making it. It all started at the beginning of the pandemic, and really, we all went into lockdown, and pretty quickly I started getting calls from other record companies and managers and other artists asking if I would write some songs for them with the downtime. And I said, okay, sure. What are you looking for? And everyone was kind of looking for more pop punk leaning music. And I thought, wow, I haven't written a pop punk song in about 16 or 17 years. I don't even know if I could do it. So why don't I pick up a guitar and see what I come up with? And I wrote about 7 or 8 songs. Once I finished them, I thought, you know what? I actually kind of like these songs. I don't know if I want to give them away to anybody. I think I'll just keep them, even though I don't know what they'll be for. I didn't even think they'd be Sum 41 songs, but I just wanted to keep them. And I also had some other heavier songs that I had been working on that were songs that were like for the previous record, Order and Decline, but I hadn't finished. And I kept working on those, and I just collected songs throughout the pandemic, not thinking they were for anything. And after about 16, 17 songs, I thought, okay, I got to go listen to everything that I've got because I'm starting to get a lot of songs. So I drove around listening to it, and I thought, this is interesting. These actually sound like they could be a double record, but 2 separate records. If I just keep writing, I've almost got 20 songs, and you could have 10 songs as pop punk and 10 songs as heavier, and then now you've got a sort of heaven and hell style, light and dark double record. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to send all the music to the rest of the guys, just my demos, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, here's my songs that I've been working on. What do you think? And then one by one, each guy came back and said, what do you think about making a double album? And so once we all sort of had the same idea separately, that's when it dawned on me that, the music is telling us all the same thing. So we pretty much had a record almost finished, and we didn't even know we were making a record.
Why not making this record 2 different albums and release them in 3 years? Like one in 2024 and the other one in 2026 and tour them both.
Because I felt like, we all felt the same way, that this idea is really unique to a band like us. Like, I don't know of too many other bands that would do something like this and it would make sense. I think because we've been doing heavier music, even in the early days when we were mostly a pop punk band, we still had all this metal influence, and we went further down that path over years, and we've gone back. We've just done different things, that we've created this sort of Sum 41 sound for ourselves, that it felt more interesting to do a double album. And plus, it was all there. All the music was done. And at the same time, it was once I listened to everything back that it made me feel like this would be a great final record for Sum 41. That I wasn't in the place, I'm not in the mindset anymore of saying, in 3 years' time, let's do another Sum 41 record. I'm at the point where I'm ready to do something different and call this the last record and just say Sum 41 is no more after this.
Not that I'm thinking like what happened or whatever, but what made you realize that? We've seen you in different stages of the band playing different things.
Yeah.
I love how you guys can play punk, but can play also heavier stuff and of course constantly like exploring things. So you're able to write songs, you write a double record. What makes you decide to, okay, this is the time?
I think because I feel like the best I've ever felt in my life, physically, mentally, in every possible way, creatively. And I just was getting to a point where I've been having these thoughts for a few years of like, is this all I'm ever going to do? Will I ever explore something else in my life? Well, I don't know what that is yet, but I have these thoughts of, I would like to try something different. And if I'm ever going to do it, I feel like right now, feeling as good as I am, having the energy that I have and the creativity that I have, now just felt like the right time. And I don't think I think this record helped me, like I said, I've been thinking that way for a few years, but once I heard the music told me that this is a great last record. This is a great final record. This is your moment now to hang your hat on this record. I think this is the best idea we've ever had. I think musically, it encapsulates the evolution of the band. This is Sum 41 in one, or I guess you want to call it two records, but one idea, one double record. It is the whole career. There's sounds there from the very early days, and then there's sounds there from what we sound like right now. And Heaven and Hell as a title encapsulates the entire journey of the band. All the extreme highs and lows we've all gone through as people and as a band and as a group together. All the things that we've experienced, like the great success, but also the really tough times where we almost broke up but stayed together. There's times, obviously, Dave left the band and has come back. Like, we've gone through a lot of tough moments together. Our career really has been heaven and hell. So it just felt like it was the right time, the right record, the right music, just the right everything.
Is that why you picked Landmines as the first single? I'm asking about Landmines because it's the song we're spinning in radioacktiva.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I was thinking about it. Everything you face when you're in a band, when you're a rock star, when you go around the world, you love your friend, your bandmates, you hate your bandmates.
Yeah.
It's extreme, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's why you guys picked Landmines then?
Well, that's not why we picked it. I think music picks itself. I'm a believer in just let the music tell you what to do. Anytime I've ever let my thoughts get in the way, that's when we fail. That's when we start thinking about stuff, or you start to strategize about something, or you think what the public might think is cool, or anything like that. That's when it doesn't work. To me, the music, if you just sit back and listen to everything, a certain song is going to sound like it should be the one. And that's how Landmines was, and it was like that from the beginning. The second I wrote that song, that was one of the first songs I wrote. And I realized I kind of like this song, actually. Like, for a pop punk song, I didn't think I was going to like. This one immediately said to me, don't give me away, And so I held on to it. And you never know if a song's going to be a hit or anything like that. You can only tell if you like it or it feels a little bit special. And that's how that song felt. So, and sure enough, it's at radio and it's doing really well for us and everything's been great. And it's becoming a hit for the band after this many years. So it's pretty incredible to have another hit song after, that I wrote in my 40s, for one, is already kind of surprising. But, this far into our career, it's exciting in a different way because you're old enough to appreciate it more.
And what about Rise Up?
Rise Up's a funny song because a few people have asked me about that song, and maybe it's because there's so many songs on this record. I don't remember writing that song. I have no recollection of that song. It's like I blacked out. I have the song. I don't remember. I can't picture myself writing it. Where like other songs, like I remember where I was when I wrote Landmines, and I can picture the room, and I remember what I thought. I don't remember it ever being recorded. I just remember I just have the song. I'm like, when did I record that? I have no idea.
God, because I was thinking sometimes when we listen to music we overthink everything. So I was thinking, okay, we have Landmines, the whole idea of landmine, of course, and Rise Up as a contrast, not only in sound, Heaven and Hell, but also in idea. So I was thinking if there was something there, or you just picked it as you just
No, I'm
mentioned,
just
right?
realizing, it's funny that you say that because like now I'm realizing this as the first time you say it. It's funny to me that Rise Up on the hell side is about strength and positivity, and it's on the hell side, and then landmines is about everything falling apart and just all the landmines that you go through, and it's on the heaven side. It's kind of hilarious, actually.
Okay, out of a pure coincidence, just a few days ago, I was listening to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Smashing Pumpkins double
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, of
double
course.
record. We don't have that many double records in rock and roll. Like
No,
those
it's
conceptual
definitely not very
kind of
many good
albums.
ones. There's not very good ones. I was always hesitant to do a double record ever because I've never liked the idea of. To us, this record wasn't. We didn't think, oh man, we've got so many good songs, we have to put them all on. This, for us, the double record is only because they're two separate sounds, two separate things, and they stay in their sounds. But yeah, as far as double records go, I mean, I think there's a lot of double records out there. I just don't know if there's very many good ones.
Or meaningful ones.
Yeah, I think my favorite would be London Calling and the White Album, Yellow Brick Road. I'm sure there's another one or two that I'm not thinking of, but yeah.
Um, Another curiosity. Do you like recall your first guitar riff, the one you played the first time when you were learning to play guitar?
Yeah, I do. I remember it was this song I was trying to write. It was called Killer. And it was just like three chords. It was like on E, G, and A.
Okay. Since at the beginning of the interview, we're remembering those songs with Iggy Pop and Tommy Lee and Rob Halford. I know it's probably a question you're gonna get a lot, but I have to ask you since I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to talk to you again. Fondest memory after all of these years.
Fondest memory of just the band or of those working with those guys? I mean, I guess it could be kind of the same thing. I think the fondest memory, the memory, let's call it the strongest memory, is performing on MTV with Halford and Tommy Lee, because that was the day that nothing was ever the same again. After that performance, life was never the same. We were pretty much an unknown band. Fat Lip was out and it was doing well, and people had kind of heard who we were, but nobody really, on a large scale, people didn't quite know who we were. From the moment that we did that performance, everything changed because the song took off and the video took off worldwide at that point. That was the moment that like everybody started to pay attention, and MTV put the video into a super heavy rotation all over the world, and it just exploded at that point. So from that moment on, nothing was ever the same ever again. And we just had such a great time on stage. I mean, it was such a great night, and it was so fun, and we were so young and new. And I remember when we reached out to Halford and Tommy Lee to actually, to ask them to perform, we thought they'd say no because, like I said, we weren't really that well known yet. But they said yes, and so I mean, the level of excitement to even just meet those guys, let alone play with them at that early of a stage in our career, was just mind-blowing.
Are you like we had very little ago we had in Colombia Kiss doing their last show and all that, and we had the opportunity of asking the guys Kiss like if they had in their minds that there was going to be a moment during that long goodbye that they were going to perform one last time an anthem like Rock and Roll Night. Do you have that on your mind, like one last performance with the guys doing Still Waiting, doing Fat Lip, huge hit in Colombia, Into Deep, those tracks, like do you have that in your mind? Have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about that yet. I think because we have, Heaven and Hell coming out in March, and we have a tour starting up pretty soon, it all feels like the beginning of something. It doesn't feel like the ending. So I'm not really thinking about any of that yet. I think it will hit me as it gets closer. It's going to feel probably pretty emotional. But I'm not there yet. So I haven't thought about it.
I'm really looking forward to listen to the whole record. I think it's great that you guys decided to go out with a double album because I think it's something different, and
Uh-huh.
you guys are going to be able to show, the whole run. I don't know how to say that in English. The harder and the softer side of the band. So
Hmm.
I think the last thing I can say is thank you for the rock and roll.
Cool.
Um,
Thank you.
Please do not say goodbye without coming to Colombia, okay?
Sure. I mean, they're putting the tour together now. I want to go everywhere. I don't know where it's all going to end up yet. It's not fully my call where we go, but we're trying to go everywhere. Hey, what's up? This is Deryck from Sum 41. You're listening to Radioactiva Rock Planet.
Well,
Okay.
Deryck, thank you very much. Once again, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Looking forward for the record Landmines spinning here in Radioactiva. It's doing great
I
so
appreciate
far.
that. Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much.
no, man, thank you very much. And have a very nice day.
Awesome. You too.
Bye bye.
All right. Talk to you later.